Is Chainlink on the brink of doing something extra special? Today in this video we're going to be looking at support levels, flip levels, what we need to hold on several time frames. We're going to start off with the 4-hour, zoom out to the daily, and then finally the weekly. So if you like the video today, give it a thumbs up and follow us on Telegram and Twitter and Patreon for more content. Let's get right to it. So looking at the 4-hour, right? Shorter time frames should be taken a little bit less concrete than the bigger time frames, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, right? Those are the big ones that you should primarily focus on, certainly when markets are shifting. But you know, it's a little bit more fun to focus on the 4-hour, so that's where we're going to start. A little bit more action on those charts. So looking at the uptrend, right? That's where we're kind of trending. All of 2023, Link has been on a little bit of a rise here. Now you can see this move here and then this move here. What does that look like? Well, sometimes patterns can be hard to see on candlestick charts, so I would invite you, that we've talked about this numerous times, to put it on a closing, just a line chart, right? This only updates on the closes, so you eliminates all the wicks, right? And then you can see that, what do we have here? Well, we have this up move, and primarily, right, you could draw it kind of arbitrarily drawn from any spot you want, but this is the focus here, right? This, when after an uptrend, and then you have this kind of formation of lower highs and lower lows, all in this kind of channel, that's called a flag. So this, it depends on which way you come. No pun intended there, but it depends on which way you're moving, I should say. And then, so with the uptrend, this is called a bull flag. The downtrend, right, bear flag, right? So, and what do you see here, right? We're just loosely drawing this as fast as possible to save you some time, but we see a breakout as of, you know, the past several hours here. So it's important to monitor that. If we come back down, we need to hold that line. So if you want a more Pacific line, let's just do it, right? So let's look at that and see where that might be. So if we want to hold the top side, probably around 660, right? You don't want to be taking out these lows. So that's what I'll be looking for the next handful of candles here, next 4, 8, 12, 16 hours, something like that, for all the mathematicians on the 4-hour. What else do I like? Not only are we above all the moving averages, that's a good step, but they're separating. And then look at the EMA 8 here, kind of coming right into the EMA 14, the purple, and then bouncing instead of crossing. You don't want to cross these up. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. So important levels to be watching for on the 4-hour. Some exciting stuff potentially forming. Nice little bull flag on the lower time frames. Now let's zoom out. The daily. Now we start to get to important support and resistance levels. The horizontals are always more important than diagonals, right? Diagonal trend lines really just are there to identify trends. Horizontal flip levels are usually, resistance zones on the bigger, the bigger aspect, the bigger scope of things. So, lines are great. I prefer zones, right? Because you're not going to always break key levels. If you had just a line here, right? Let me get you going here. If we had just a line, right, then you could argue like, well, look, it broke right there, right? No, zones are better, right? You need to, break out of a zone, whatever time frame you're looking at, and then you need to hold it as support really on that zone. And they can be kind of a little bit more loosely drawn, right? Because lines are too definitive, across a lot of aspects. So this is kind of the zone we need to get above and hold. And, this will become more evident on the weekly chart, which we'll zoom out to in just a moment. So looking at this, right, and going back, right, that's before the drop. So now this is, so far, just a underside retest of that level that we lost. So what we need to be looking for is to not only get above it, but hold this and flip it to support on this zone just above $7, right? Then where? Then where do we look, right? I'm glad you asked. Look up. Right? Is there any more ceilings, right? That's when you need to be looking for. If there's no more ceilings above you, then you need to zoom out to bigger pictures and see where you're at, because the shorter time frames are probably already, right? So if you're looking at the hourly, then the 4-hour, and there's no moving averages above you, you have to keep zooming out until you catch one, and that's likely your next level. This one is actually a double whammy for Chainlink, because that's the 200-day EMA. Right, that's where we hit our head before back in November. But also, what do you see here is this is probably going to be very close to the 200 and this previous local top. Right, you have to climb back up the stairs. So that's stair 1 after we flip this support zone. Right, if we continue up, hold 7 as a as support, right? We need to flip it. So far, resistance, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row as resistance. Look at the sell-offs, the upper wicks. So that's where we got to go. Step 1. Step 2 is this one, right? That's our first move above if we can hold that as support, right? So maybe, next 10, 15 days, maybe we can get up in there, right? That would be the healthiest, right? You don't want to just moon shoot straight up here, right? That would be not healthy. This is already getting a little frothy, across many altcoins and Bitcoin included. But if we can manage to kind of bounce up here and then kind of hold and then just go steady sideways, that'd be super bullish, right? That's what we'd want to see out of Chainlink. And then you got to look left, right? And then march up the stairs. There's one, right? If you want another one, right? What's the next position, right? The highs. You need to take out the previous peaks. So there's your levels, kind of some arbitrarily drawn 770. Let's go 770 or where the 200 is going to be. It's trying to level off here, so it could probably be around that area, 750 to 770, something like that. Then you're looking just under $9, right? So that's what we're looking at on the daily chart. Now, let's remove that and let's zoom out to the bigger picture, the weekly. Do we have any moving averages above us here? Yeah, we got a bunch here, right? And more clear level to me, because that's where Chainlink has rejected for the past 8 months or so, is the 21-week EMA, right, in the yellow, right? All big rallies out of Link rejected there, right? We got above it momentarily, but no closes, right? Greens close on top, reds close on bottom. So that's where we closed, and we have not done it, right? And even the past couple of weeks we've tried, right? Look at all these attempts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, working on our 7th week over the past 6, 7 months of testing that and getting rejected. So what does that mean? Who cares, right? If we close above that, that should not be taken lightly. That is the wake-up call, right? Don't miss it, right? If you're doing things you haven't done in months or years, right? I mean, we're going back to almost, we're going way back, right? March even the rally in March did not get above the 21 week. The last time we got above the 21 week was over a year ago. Think about that, right? We're looking at the first week of January is the last time we were above the 21 week. Fast forward a year and a week, right? 53 weeks. And we're looking at maybe doing it again. So are we out of the woods when we did that? No, we need to be holding that for multiple weeks and, not looking sketchy as hell. All right, there's like a tweezer top, right? When the tweezer top, when you have 2 wicks that are almost exactly the same, that's a warning sign. And, send it down, right? But now we're trying to kind of move sideways. And what else do we have? The biggest kind of level, right? We're looking at this zone right in here above, I would say from above that $9 to $10 area. Notice also right here, this 200 week moving average, right? Look at where we kind of held initially on our move down and then broke it. We haven't gotten up there yet, but when we do, especially on the weekly chart, look at these 3 wicks. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. When will we get our 4th, right? It'll happen again at some point. Your guess is as good as mine. I would say maybe sometime in late February, March for the earliest, right? We don't want to be going up there too quick, but if Bitcoin goes to 25K or 30K or something, then I'd say a lot of altcoins could do that, but this is a level not to be missed. Now, if you're waiting to get on Chainlink and you haven't got on anymore yet, when should I get in? If we go above 10, that's your flip level, right? So that's like kind of Bitcoin getting above 18.5 or so, 19K. That was the flip level to be moving your chips in, right? Don't bet against momentum. That will get you run over like a stampede, right? So that's what we're looking at. That's the level on all 3. That's kind of what I got. So hopefully you liked the video. Hopefully it was a little bit informative. Thumbs up, remember if you haven't, and I'll see you in Telegram and Twitter. I appreciate you watching this long. If you have, I appreciate it. Am I saying appreciate too much?